Long before the bell, before rumors of anti-gravity experiments in clandestine Nazi laboratories began to circulate, there existed a symbol, a stark geometric figure, ancient, sacred, and it echoed across civilizations for millennia. That symbol is the swastika. But long before it became a mark of war, it was a sacred symbol in Hinduism, representing cosmic order, cyclical time, creation, and divine energy. What if the symbol was more than political appropriation? What if it was part of a deeper ideological thread, a belief that ancient knowledge, including advanced technology, once existed and could be reclaimed? This video explores a provocative supposition that the Nazi bell, the ancient Vimanas, and the swastika were connected, not merely symbolically but philosophically and perhaps technologically. In Sanskrit, the word swastika derives from svasti, meaning well-being, prosperity, and good fortune. In Hindu tradition, the symbol represents the movement of the sun across the sky, the eternal cycle of creation and destruction, the rotation of cosmic energy, and the balance of forces in the universe. It is associated with deities such as Vishnu and Ganesha, and it remains a sacred symbol across India today. Importantly, its orientation traditionally turns clockwise, symbolizing expansion and life. In ancient Hindu cosmology, the universe itself is rotational. Galaxies spin, time cycles, existence unfolds in repeating spirals. The swastika is not static. It implies motion, rotation, and energy in perpetual circulation. Now, consider that idea carefully, because rotation, specifically counter-rotation, sits at the heart of the Nazi bell legend. When the National Socialist Party adopted the swastika, it was not chosen randomly. Adolf Hitler described it as a symbol of Aryan identity and destiny. But the Nazi fascination with the symbol extended beyond politics. It was rooted in a belief that ancient Indo-European civilizations supposedly possessed superior wisdom. Nazi research groups funded expeditions to Tibet and regions influenced by Hindu and Vedic traditions. They studied Sanskrit texts and searched for proof that ancient cultures were not primitive as commonly believed, but were in fact advanced in many technological aspects. To them, the swastika was not just heritage, it was a key, a marker pointing backward, toward a lost golden age. And if ancient India once possessed advanced flying craft known as Vimanas, then perhaps modern Germany could reclaim that knowledge. What if the most secret experiment of the Third Reich wasn't an invention at all? What if it was a rediscovery? In the final days of World War II, as Berlin collapsed and Allied forces closed in from every direction, whispers began to circulate about a device so strange, so technologically advanced, that it seemed to defy the physics of its time. They called it Die Glocke, the bell. A metallic bell-shaped object suspended in a reinforced chamber and fueled by a mysterious substance said to manipulate gravity itself. And yet, thousands of years before Nazi Germany ever existed, ancient Indian texts described flying machines powered by unknown energies, capable of vertical lift, interplanetary travel, and devastating weapons. They were called Vimanas. Is it possible that these two legends, separated by millennia, are fragments of the same forgotten technology? In the chaos of World War II's final months, Allied intelligence uncovered references to secret Nazi wonder weapons, the so-called Wunderwaffe programs. Among them was a device allegedly developed under the SS, overseen by high-ranking officials deeply fascinated with the occult and ancient knowledge. Central to these rumors was a project codenamed Die Glocke. The object was described as bell-shaped, several meters tall, constructed of heavy metallic material, and housing counter-rotating cylinders filled with a glowing violet substance known as Zerum 525. Witness accounts claim the device emitted intense radiation. Scientists involved in its testing reportedly died mysteriously. Experiments allegedly required massive concrete structures to contain its effects. One such structure, a circular reinforced concrete frame in Poland, still stands today. Some speculate it was a test rig designed to anchor the bell during activation. But here is the more unsettling detail. Several Nazi research divisions were not merely pursuing advanced engineering, they were obsessed with ancient civilizations, lost continents, and mythical technologies. Which brings us to India. Millennia ago, Sanskrit epics like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana described flying craft known as Vimanas. These were not poetic metaphors of birds or clouds. They were described as metallic, capable of vertical ascent and descent, powered by contained energy sources, emitting bright light and thunderous sound, and capable of traveling between realms or planets. Some texts describe complex control systems, rotating mechanisms, and even weaponry resembling directed energy beams. One controversial manuscript, often referred to as the Vimanika Shastra, outlines detailed construction principles for Vimanas, including specific metals, propulsion systems, and energy containment methods. Skeptics dismiss it as modern fabrication, but for the sake of our exploration, let's assume something else. What if ancient India possessed technological knowledge far beyond what mainstream history allows? What if that knowledge was lost, fragmented, and hidden within myth? And what if certain 20th century groups believed that too? If the Nazis believed the Vimanas were real machines, not allegory, then the next logical step would be replication. Now consider the design parallels. Vimanas were described as dome-like or bell-shaped structures. They possessed internal rotating mechanisms. They contained radiant energy. They had lethal side effects on operators, and they were capable of defying gravity. And what about the bell? Well, it was bell-shaped, possessed counter-rotating cylinders, produced intense radiation, performed anti-gravity experiments, and operated on a mysterious glowing substance. Was this a coincidence, or was it actually a reconstruction? Ancient texts often describe Vimanas as powered by a contained force, sometimes associated with mercury, plasma-like substances, or celestial energy. Now recall the alleged Zerum 525. Witness descriptions claimed it was a dense, glowing material stored within rotating drums. When activated, the bell allegedly produced electromagnetic anomalies and gravitational effects. Some researchers speculate the substance may have involved highly refined mercury compounds. Interestingly, certain ancient Sanskrit references mention mercury vortices as part of Vimana propulsion systems. Indeed, it is noteworthy that rotating mercury creates powerful electromagnetic fields under specific conditions. Was the bell's counter-rotation mechanism an attempt to recreate ancient descriptions of energy vortices? If so, the Nazis weren't inventing. They were actually reverse engineering mythology. In Hindu cosmology, time behaves differently in different realms. Days for the gods equal years for humans. Entire civilizations rise and fall between cosmic cycles. If Vimanas traveled between realms, were those realms physical locations, other planets, or different dimensions of space-time? Reports surrounding the bell include claims of temporal anomalies, biological decay, plant crystallization, and unexplained distortions. If this interpretation holds, then the implications extend far beyond mere propulsion technology. They point instead toward the manipulation of space-time itself. Across two vastly separated eras, the objective appears strikingly similar, not simply to move through the world, but to command the very fabric of existence, reshaping distance, duration, and perhaps even causality itself. What if human advancement is not a straight upward trajectory of invention, but a cycle of loss and rediscovery? What if the technologies we consider futuristic are, in fact, echoes of knowledge once possessed and then obscured by time? Across millennia, ancient civilizations recorded accounts of flying machines and celestial weapons within sacred texts, describing forces that seem to blur the boundary between divine power and mechanical engineering. In the modern era, regimes driven by ideology and ambition have pursued similarly forbidden capabilities through secretive and esoteric research, convinced that hidden truths lie buried in humanity's distant past. These two timelines, ancient myth and 20th century experimentation, appear to converge on the same enduring question. Can human beings harness forces once attributed only to gods? The Nazi bell and the Vimanas, though separated by thousands of years in historical narrative, may, under this supposition, represent chapters within a single arc of concealed knowledge, first mastered, then mythologized, and later sought again with perilous determination. The deeper mystery is not whether the bell physically existed, but whether fragments of advanced understanding were encoded in legend, waiting for those bold or reckless enough to attempt their revival. And if such knowledge were to surface again, the final question would not concern its power, but our capacity for wisdom in wielding it. Thank you for watching this video till the end. If you enjoyed this content, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. It truly makes a difference. As a channel that is over a decade old, the archive has seemingly been shadowed by the algorithm, so we rely on your direct support more than ever. To those of you already supporting through Patreon or as channel members, thank you. You're helping keep this research alive and independent. If you'd like to join us and help preserve forbidden knowledge and ancient truths, check the links in the description. Until next time, stay curious and stay awake.